So this is the post-break session on the morning of September 11th, 2015, and Aptavani 13 Parayan has just started on Prakruti, and Sirishbhai is asking a question. And there are 5 gnans and 3 ignorant agnan are all, you see, Kumati, Mati Shrutane, and Avdi. They're Shrut, Mati, Avdi, they're all Vyavahar Atma. The original self is Kevad Gnan Swarup only. You answered Alpesh. The Abnani, the ignorant Bhavo and Mangal Das are under the influence of scientific circumstantial evidence. And the awakened Bhavo is not under the influence of scientific circumstantial evidences. So Sirishbhai misheard the answer of Deepakbhai to Alpesh. Agnan, so the Bhavo is of 2 types, the middleman, the one with the ignorance and knowledge. There is Bhavo is the middleman, is either ignorant or awakened. So out of ignorance or the lack of awareness or trying to protect this small SELF, the protection of the small SELF, or when you become Tanmayakar with the Prakruti, then you are under the control of Prakruti only, you see. But our bhavo keeps changing, does it not? The middleman. So instead of making him sit, the eater is eating. Why are you becoming the eater? So the Purusharth, Prajna tells the bhavo that why are you becoming the eater? Let the eater eat. You come on this side of the line of demarcation, and so come on this side of the knowledge only. And so we are talking that it is the ignorant bhava that is under the influence of Vyavasthit, not the real bhava. The awakened bhava is not under the influence of Vyavasthit, you see. That's all. Let us take your questions later, you see. Next is Smita Mehta. Niruma says in the editorial that Aptavani 1 to 14, this 14 is that the 14 spiritual stages. My question is, what is the spiritual stages, the 1 to 14, the 14 levels of spiritual levels? How does it, can you please tell? In general, it is just spoken generally. There are 14 spiritual levels, and these Aptavanis are such that they make you rise higher and higher into the spiritual levels, and ultimately it will take you on the path of absolute liberation only, absolute knowledge. In this life, there is only 2. In this life, there is the indistinct experience of the soul in the Gnanvidhi, and through the 5 agnas, and the Purusharth of the 5 agnas, you move in the direction of the absolute self experience, a correction, and in which in this life there is the clear and the distinct experience of the soul that is possible. And then in the next life, then subsequently there will be the absolute knowledge experience, you see. So in the understanding, there will be a lot that will come, and then it will come into the parinam or the result or the experience. The first Aptavani is not for the first Gunthan. No, it's not like that. All the matter in most Aptavanis are very high level, and all 14 are involved in all the Aptavanis too. Next one, Chetan Shroff. In last life, whatever the Prakruti was bound in the last life, that is how it will unfold. Can we change it in this life? If you can keep it separate, you cannot suffer from it, and you can feel independence from that Prakruti. That is how your knowledge is, but you cannot change that which was formed and is unfolding. as the more you become the knower seer, the more you make the file one do pratikraman, then you see, nothing new is arising, and the old is actually giving its result and vanishing. That is all. Supposing in the last life I had formed a Prakruti of business, then in this life I am doing business. But in this life, but you don't know what's going to happen in the next in future, right? I say, you see, if you have continuous thoughts of more business in this life, that means coming events cast their shadows before, and therefore you know that you'll most likely end up in future with more business. So, so this is the circle. No, yes, all this is the knowledge is ignore the knowledge from the last life is the result as of the Prakruti in this life. And now the new knowledge in this life is the knowledge of five agnas and the liberation, and therefore, you see, you have become the pure soul, and now the Prakruti is whatever is happening in Sailesh Shroff, that is all. And that is all under the influences of scientific circumstantial evidences. It is nothing new. It is the frozen stock from the last life that is now thawing, unfolding, expressing, and there is a knowledge of Sailesh. He knows how to make tea. When did you learn how to make tea? Now you know it. But you see, the last life knowledge of how to make tea is there, and therefore now in this life you learned how to make tea, and therefore the circumstances allowed you to make tea. Now I have the Gnana of Dada, as he says, but it's the knowledge of Dada is being used in a very different way so that you remain separate from the Prakruti. If you had not met Dada, what would have happened? Then if you had pain, full events in life, you will be the sufferer of the pain, would you not? But now you can remain the knower of the pain rather than the sufferer of pain. You know, and therefore, no, the ego will continue to remain in discharge as it is, as it was, as with the same intensity as it was at the causal level, and will discharge, and it will discharge. You know, in ignorance, the same kind of fight will happen like you used to have fights with your wife before the Gnanvidi. However, now those words will not hurt you. Otherwise, the previous words, the same words would lead to a divorce, you see. So this is how it is. We'll take the questions next life. Next time. Next is Geeta Binde. You say that there'll be in the next life we will have a very beautiful Prakruti for the next life, which is because of the cause of the five agnas. You'll have a beautiful Prakruti in the next life. That's what you say. But what about? That is why But now, what about the future? That is why we are in this satsang. And don't you have a little bit of brahmacharya, all of those beautiful things that are happening to you in this life? That means it is the result of past life. Beautiful seeds of past life that is coming in. Now you are taking off the rest of the negative stock, the stuff. Therefore, you are getting rid of it. I had a join Pudgal, and therefore something negative happens. I used to say this is my own effect only. But does it mean that I never really understood anything in the last life? Now, why worry about what you understood in the previous life? Why don't you focus on this current life and what you know now? You know, you see, now your current knowledge is that if I meet somebody like a saint or a great human being, then I want to really, you know, you are not you were not totally without any good knowledge in the last life, and that is why. But you did not have akram vignan knowledge. You see, but you had good qualities in the last life, and that is why you find before your awakening. What about upyog over upyog, applied awareness over applied awareness? That comes much later, says Deepakbhai. Upyog means to see the flawless, to see it as it is, and to see the pure soul. That is called upyog. To see the flawless in the relative and to see the pure soul in the real. That is called shuddha upyog. You see? And when you see, no matter how much you are tormented, if you see the other person at flawless, then that is called upyog, right? Shuddha upyog, pure upyog. And what about knower of knower? No, 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 no. Why are you jumping this Aptavani? It'll come later, you see. Right now we have still many more days of the Parayan left, you see. Let us just now focus step by step on what we are learning. Then we'll go ahead. This is only the first day of the Parayan of Aptavani 13. Can I ask one more question? What do you want to ask? The world is a puzzle itself. No, let's leave it alone. We will talk about it later. Yeah, just then I will remain in the puzzle, he says. Why don't you give me the answer? The world is a puzzle itself. I want to understand it exactly. What do you want to ask? Would you please explain these words? World is a puzzle itself. The, supposing you're coming from a city of Ahmedabad over here, you run into heavy traffic. Isn't that a puzzle? You get stuck in the traffic. And then when you come here, somebody has taken your chair, you see, or somebody has jumped the line on lunch ahead of you. The puzzles will arise, you see. Mm-hmm. And then all the problems that you have with husband, wife, with the parents, children, etc. I know, I wasn't intending to say this, but why are you taking it this way? My dear, this is not what I was saying. Why can't you, there are two, this puzzle. Why don't you just say there are one relative viewpoint and one real viewpoint? You see, whatever happens you see, whatever happens belongs to Chetan Bhai. It is all relative. You see, why don't you focus on the solution? There are two viewpoints to solve the puzzle, one relative, one real. You see, that's all. Agna 1, Agna 2. Hello, Bharti Bhatt. Hello. Which question? The causal Prakruti of last life. In this life, it becomes the effect Prakruti, and it is. And what kind of awareness should I have in that Prakruti? I am the pure soul in that. I'm not the Prakruti. That is the awareness you should keep. That is all. Agna 1, Agna 2. That's all. By relative viewpoint, I'm the Prakruti. By real viewpoint, I'm the pure soul. That's all. I'm pure soul. Keep that awareness. Do you understand, fourth? And see the relative as a file, you see, and settle the file with equanimity. And whatever happens is scientific circumstantial evidences, you see. Do you want anything else, you see? And then you remain in satsang, you see. But you see, I don't like the effects that happen in the Prakruti, she says. No, it is the effect of the Prakruti. I'm separate from it. I don't want to enter into it. It doesn't belong to me, and I want to settle with it with equanimity. Equanimity is my pure soul state. That is all. I do not have any concern with the Prakruti. But when suffering happens, you see, then I feel that the intellect and the ego does not allow me to follow the 5 agnas, she says. She says then. But sooner or later it is decreasing. Yes. Whatever arises, it goes away. Then the new one will come. Yes, he says, so the new one comes. Nothing old comes. It comes and goes away, you see. Mukesh Patel, the next one. Yes, Gnani Purush Dadashri. Prakruti means, this is the field stock of the past life. And in the arising of the Prakruti, there is no ego there. There is no vyavasthit in the cause of Prakruti. When it is discharging, that is called vyavasthit. So it is in Akram, it feels like there is a pror that the Prakruti and life goes away together. But here in Akram, we cannot change any Prakruti we cannot change the effect Prakruti. No. We see the change because we do not get hurt by the Prakruti anymore because we have become the pure souls, you see. Nothing affects the pure soul that you are. You see, if you understand this, then Prakruti will not bother you. Now we have separated from the Prakruti. We have moved away from the false imposition sense that I am this body, I am Marion, I am Camilla, I am Claudia, you see. And you see, but you see, so you're not there in the Prakruti at all. But if you do not touch the Prakruti at all, if you do not interfere with it, then how can it affect you? The ball is lying there, but if you kick the ball around, of course it will bounce back and come back to you. You see, so But if you do not kick the ball that is in a room, then it will not go. Or in the same way, if you do not bounce the ball, you threw the ball in the last life. Now slowly, it will jump back up again, and it will jump again and jump. Yes, I feel a tremendous. I feel that there has been a significant improvement in my Prakruti after the Gnan Vidhi. That is actually the change that you see is part of the effect, because of a cause that was there in the last life of a high spiritual state. And therefore some people have 500,000 layers over their soul, some people have 5,000 layers over their soul. So every Prakruti is different, you see. And so you think it is changing, but it is actually just the filled stock that is emptying. That is all. That is all. Next one, Gandhinagar. I already have my answer, she says, but I have another question. May I ask another question? And Pudgal is the one that is like staining it, and Pudgal is the one that is clear. There is a chapter on it. It is coming. You see, then read it. It is in Aptavani 12. We will. It's coming in this. Then we take next one. Now, and the next one is Gunjan Shah. This is the Pulush. Pulush is a Gnanmay. If the Purush is actually full of, the self is full of soul, then how can it come under illusion? You see? If you are drinking tea, when you drink tea, if you bring the teacup very close to your eyes, will you not see two cups? If you are the clear one, but because you bring the teacup very close to your eyes, then you will see two teacups because your eyes become crossed. So that is called vibramta. It is the illusion. The knower continues to know, the seer continues to see. However, because of the pressure of the circumstances, the eyes are not in focus, and therefore you see two. Purush is Gnanmay. The Purush, it is not the mood Purush. It is not the original self. It is the awakened self. That is actually the pure soul. There is a Dravya Jeev and a Bhav Jeev. The Dravya Jeev means the eternal self is actually eternal, and Bhav Jeev means it's the one with the upyog, you see. And he's got Shubh upyog, Shuddh upyog, Ashudh, Shubh, and Shubh, and then Shuddha. So as long as he's the Prakriti, he has got the Ashubh, the Ashuddha, and Shubh upyog. When he becomes the pure soul, he comes into Shuddha upyog. And that is the pure soul. And beyond the pure soul is the original self, which has got nothing to do with all of this. You see? And it is the one who believes that suddenly believes that I am this body. All of a sudden, he does not know who he is. Then he gets into the illusion. So now we are reversing. You see, now we know that I am not this body. I am not Tobias. I am not Rudiger, you see, I am not Eduardo, you see, and that means only when he comes into the understanding that there is a life after life, then he comes into the doorstep of understanding the nature of the soul and the science of the soul, you see, and therefore he understands that in this life you cause karma, and in the next life you suffer the effects of karma. And the current suffering of the life is due to the causes laid in a previous life, you see. And the soul is purely the knower of all this karma that is happening to the karma complex that is called the Prakruti, you see. And when the knowledge becomes pure, then until the knowledge becomes pure, called Gnan, the knowledge is only kind of running around between the Shubha and the Ashubha, the holy and the unholy, the auspicious and the hurtful. You see, the helpful and the hurtful, etc. Or the absolutely hurtful is the fourth one, Ashuddha Gnan, the worst kind of knowledge, you see. You see? You see, I was just using my fingers this way, and all of a sudden, people came to me. All I was telling was signaling these people to increase the volume of the speaker in front of me. You see, so And now he's asking complex questions about the infernal world, or not the hell, but the infernal world where there is no name given to a living being called Nigod, to life. There is there is the state of vibhav is continuously existent because of the proximity of the soul with the matter only. It's an eternity. He behaves as one only. He doesn't believe that there is two in him, the Prakruti and the Purush. Now he is just reading what we have already read. He's What is the nature of the Pudgal? You see, this bones, flesh, blood, etc., that is not called the natural Pudgal. No. You see, it has all, you see, this senses and all this talking, feeling, thinking person that is in front of you, that has arisen as a Prakruti. Is it happening to the Pudgal or is it happening to the soul? It is happening to both. It is happening to both. It will come later. He is answering the questions, but it's all coming in the chapter of Prakruti that we are discussing. And in the book of Prakruti, it is all there. Next one, I have the same question. All of the question. There is one point that Purush is Gnanmay, is full of knowledge. And the pure, and then because of wherever there is knowledge, there is also the illusion. Because, and what is Gnan means what says? Gnan means there is, Gnan means the ability to have the understanding. And you can have the right understanding or the wrong understanding. That is, and then, on the basis of Lok Sangna, which is association with the relative world, and also the ignorance of the self, the one gets influenced by ignorance more than knowledge, and therefore, now you see, only the living one can come under the influence of wrong knowledge or right knowledge. The microphone cannot come under the influence of wrong or the right knowledge. And when that knowledge changes, the upyog changes, he believes that I am the microphone, I am this body, and therefore the Prakruti gets formed. And if he believes that I am the pure soul, then the new Prakruti does not form. And so one is called Vibhav because he believes I am this body, and when there is no Vibhav, there is only the Swabhav, that is called the view of the self only. It is a very big discovery of our Gnani Purush Dadashri. Otherwise, it is hidden in the scriptures. You see, Swabhav means the view and the state of the self. Vibhav means the view and the state of the non-self. You see, Vibhav. And then, so there are two views. There are two fundamental reasons for going in the wrong direction. One is Lok Sangna, association with the world, and second one is the ignorance of the self. You see, not knowing who am I, and that is due to the absence of the Gnani Purush. You see, when there is Gnani Purush meets such a person, then of course all of this is dispelled, and one becomes free. The one who is prone to wrong vision, the I gets under the influence of I am pure soul, and therefore he becomes I moves away from I believes moves under the influence of the non-self complex, and therefore he believes that I am this body, and he becomes the Prakruti. You see, yes, but you see otherwise. But you see, he's just sitting behind the wheel driving a car, but he believes I am the driver. You see, he believes I'm the body, and he believes I'm driving the car. You see, he's not driving the car. It is the discharging complex is driving the car. The discharging from complex, the Prakruti is driving the car, and he believes I am the driver. I'm driving the car. I'm leading it this way, and I'm leading it that way. It is a form Prakruti that knows exactly what to do. So what happens? Now next one. Have you ever picked roses from from a rose plant? Do you take the roses in a way that doesn't so that the thorn will not hurt you? In that way there is varieties of Prakruti, just like there are varieties of flowers in this universe. In the same way there are varieties of Prakruti. One person, one always keeps an eye on one's own adjustment, correct? If you go to different, you see, when you go to different homes, everybody's front door has got different locks, are they not? And different keys. And then you look at the door, and then you look at this, okay, which is, and do you not adjust to the, when in your own home you have a certain way of locking the door, but in other homes, other people's homes, you will have to adjust to the way they lock their homes, will you not? So in every matter in the relative world, you are making adjustments, are you not? I mean, if you're wearing your shoes, do you, supposing by accident you put your right foot into your left shoe, do you not automatically correct it? You don't you? In relative matters, in non-living things, you make automatic adjustments, but you do not know how to make the adjustments with living things. You see, with other. But even these living beings are only jerd only. They are non-living. They are not living. There is no life in it. There is no. They are nishchetan chetan only. They appear living to you, but you need to make adjustments. The more the more you stop being willful, and the more you adjust to the other person, and the more you become, to that extent, your own anger, deceit, greed, and pride will decrease. But by trying to improve the other person, you will never become free from your kashayas. Next one is Gunjan Shah from Ahmedabad. Yesterday in the morning you talked. You said that you passed everybody in this examination because you were saying that. Yes, also. Sometimes we don't know what we had written in the examination in the last life. Supposing we have taken 10 years after the Gnanvidhi to come here now, so we know that certain things have should happen in the Prakruti. Yeah. Don't you know that this is lacking, that he's more, that he's more, in certain matters is better, in certain matters is not good. But but the magnificence of the Gnani is so that I feel that there's a lot lacking in the Prakruti. That I feels like that the Purusharth is lacking, that it is weak. Don't you know that the Purusharth is weak? Are you not the knower? Don't you think the one with understanding will know that, or the one, you know, only the one who is awake in his home will know that there is dirt in the home, right? He will know that there is no water, there is no tea, there is no milk in the fridge. Only the one who is moving about and who is aware in the home, who knows the progress. And the moment you become the knower, you are in progress. But if you try to become the manipulator or the doer, then you are not in progress at all. You have skipped from progress. You don't you know when Gunjan makes some kind of mistake? Don't you know that he is making mistake before the Nanvidhi? I know about the relative, but what is it? I'll tell you what you need to do. If you feel there is less progress, then you need to, how, why don't you ask how you can come to satsang more, come to retreats at home every day, spend 1 hour, read Dada, and watch VCD, do the VDs, Vachas, do Pratikramans, etc. You have so many of these tools. Use them. Yeah, apply a certain discipline to read all of these things and do all of this. And ultimate science is that remain separate from Gunjan, and keep on telling Gunjan, this is a mistake, do Pratikraman. You've been given the very simple, and you have been given the very simple answers and the very simple way. Don't you know? You know how to adjust everywhere. Adjust everywhere. That is all. And do not keep a load over your head. You see, and when you say it is, stop crying. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's happening. Instead, why don't you turn around towards the Dada Bhagwan within you and say, "Oh Dada, this is not happening. Grant me the energy to really be the knower and seer of what is happening. Grant me the energy to see and be in the five agnas exactly." The moment you say you want to be this way, then it will happen. This is the final answer. And come to satsang, and you see, and if you come to satsang, then the missing key you will get. Then Rupesh is here, and then Do Tirthankars have Prakruti? Yes, they have. Yes, they have limited. They have minimal Prakruti. It is all their Prakruti is gone. Their subatomic particles go away after become even after absolute enlightenment knowledge. They have Shata, Ashata, Nam, Gotra. There is minimal. They have the what they call this the body form Prakruti, the pain and pleasure bearing Prakruti, and the this lifespan Prakruti, and also the status Prakruti. We don't need to go there. They have the body, you see, the day they, but it is falling away. It is a divine karma. Through the divine karma nothing new is happening, you see. And if the Gnani speaks and we speak, don't you think there is a difference in the voice of Niruma? Don't you think Niruma and Dada are different in their voices? Don't you think that at this level, so the level of the Tirthankar must be at a different level than Dada? But at the level of the experience, there is no difference. However, in at the level of the relative interaction, there is a difference with reference to mind, speech, and body. That's all. But yes, there is. What is the difference between a Gnani and a Tirthankar? I just wanted to know this. I know that there is no difference between Tirthankars, but I wanted to know. But the Gnanis have. Dada had a Prakruti. Dada says, "Dada said, I'm Vitrag with the entire world, but with one, two, or three people that are close to me, I still have to clear them because I want to clear the subtler and the subtlest mistakes, and because I want to make them very firm in the Jagat Kalyan goal. You see, so but for Mahatmas, they have this. They have more. You see, they're more from the subtle to the grossest. You see, I don't want to compare. I want to supposing when I look at you versus Mahatmas, and then I see that you are saying. He says the difference between you and me is that you have 100. So if you have 100 interferences with the Prakriti, for me maybe there are about 12 interference with the Prakriti. That's all. So I interfere less with the Prakriti compared to you. That's all. To interfere with the Karputi, the interference with the Prakriti happens because of the lack of awareness, and therefore you become, I am Marcia Braga, I am Duda, you see, or I am Elaine. You see, that is how it is. That is called the interference with the Prakriti. And if you say Ishbin Rhinocele or Somapura, then you are not interfering with the Prakriti. If that prevails with you all the time, then there will be no room for Rag, Dvesh, attachment, aversion, anger, pride, deceit, and greed. You see? And so there is a difference between the applied awareness between me and you, but otherwise the field stock is different with everybody. We have to put the highest importance on the applied awareness of the awakened one. That is all. And we are going in that same direction as you are going by. You like a file, but I don't like any file. That is the difference between you and me. You like is a subtle mention that you like file too, whereas for me, I don't have this kind of likings. You see, don't you think Deepakbhai has Prakriti? Of course, Deepakbhai has Prakriti. Yes, yes, and it also has got Ruchi, Arusi, and Raswadi and interest. Yes, Deepak has got the Prakriti of interest only. You see, if I get Magni Dad, I will eat Magni Dad faster than Tuver Dad. You see, these are two different dads. Yeah. And if it's very hot, then I will eat the food that is less hot first. You see, so there is a Prakriti. So this Deepak's Prakriti. I know that Deepak then ate more of this food and ate less of this food. Mah- Mahatmas. Yeah, there might be a little bit of difference about food that you don't like than versus food that you like. Whereas we are more vitrag with reference to any kind of food that comes in front of you. That is all. Ruchi or ruchi, inclination versus disinclination. I proceed further with five agnas, and you also further with five agnas too. You see, five agnas will show you exactly how to proceed further. Yes. And you can have an internal conversation with Rupesh that if you eat this less or eat this more, it's going to be good. It is the full stock of Rupesh only in whatever was the subatomic particles that were demanding the food for Rupesh that is coming in. You see, you know, why are you just gulping the food that you like? Instead, You know, so why don't you chew your food and enjoy the food properly? Why don't you sit down and eat instead of standing at the sink and eating your sandwich? You see, why don't you enjoy the food? Why don't you kind of check what you're eating? Why don't you chew it properly, etc.? Talk to the next one. Next one. And so what is meant by, to clear each and every phase of the intellect through the knowledge, you see? Because we have to say that intellect is showing this negative and this negative, that is a phase of the intellect, and you have to make the adjustment through the Gnan through the Prajna, you see? You see? You see? It's, you see now, when you learn how to do settle the file with equanimity, that means, because the intellect will say the food is not palatable. At that time, you have to apply the knowledge of the light of the self to adjust and settle the file of food with equanimity without hurting the person sitting across the table. Then you have learned how to dissolve the Prakruti correctly. The other, she says, because I have 4 degrees lacking, we don't experience absolute knowledge, but we can understand absolute knowledge because we are lacking by 4 degrees. And he is reading the other stuff. We have not we did not understand and we did not experience and know. So he is not. And the other, she says that we are lacking in the experience of absolute knowledge, says Dada. He talked about 3 Dada Gnanvanis. If something suddenly drops in here, you'll say, oh, something fell. Then everybody gathers, you say, what fell down? Oh, this is this glass that broke down. So when you have a sudden idea that something has fallen, that means that is called understanding. What happened? He says, no, I heard a sound, but I don't know what it is. Something happened, something is there, that is called darshan or vision. And then what is exactly it is when you go there, oh, it is a broken glass, then that is called gnan. You see, that means knowledge. To know, to experience, you see. And the other, she says, I could see the entire, we know everything about and experience about this pure soul, Atmagnan, but we have to use the words of Lord Mahavir. But we understand the description of Lord Mahavir with reference to heaven and hell, etc., and the entire path of evolution and liberation. If it is 360 degrees that the Lord Mahavir spoke, then I am lacking by 4 degrees, and those 4 degrees, we say that is what is lacking. And so we have absolute vision, but we do not have the absolute experience yet. Absolute experience is absolute knowledge, or kevad gnan. I said, in this, can you please explain that in this satsang the celestial beings are present? It will take 32 seconds. 90, I says, my question was going to be only 19 seconds. This is this company of such, this is the eternal company, this is the song. And you see, the celestial beings also would like to be here, so they are pleased that this kind of stuff. This is the satsang of Dada, and the celestial beings are present. Nanviti also, the celestial beings are present, and we experience that. And this is all. This is a very high level satsang, says Deepakbhai. Next one. I had some kind of problems with one file about which I had intense negative opinions, and I want to understand the extra opinions that I have about this file. So, says Deepak Bhai, you need to understand that he is a pure soul, and that is his field stock in his Prakruti, and our intellect is giving the opinions, and we have to reverse from our intellect opinions through the double A, double B, the evidences of flawlessness, and the 5 agnas and the pratikraman. The intellect will show the negative of the other person. However, you need to apply your knowledge. There is the pure soul, he's not doing it deliberately. His Prakruti is unfolding. He is not at fault at all, and it is his field stock that is unfolding, and it is field stock that is unfolding. You are saying it at fault, you see. And why don't you apply the knowledge, and that is how you'll become free from it. You see, you understand? Five agnas, double A, double B, all of these things are going to make a significant difference. Now, Kesu Patel is the next one. And then Prakash from Rajkot. Dada has given amazing compassion for the entire world. But and if you remain sincere to the Gnani, you will attain liberation. And the one who is sincere to his own self, then the Gnani will be very happy with him. And if he hears, can you please explain this? You like the agnas of Dada, don't you? You like satsang. You like Dada Vani, you like Gnanvani, you like the idea of liberation, you want to decrease your files, you want to settle your files. These are all, but with all of this, Dada is very happy because you are entering into the Purusharth of Gnan. Sincerely means without any insincerity, without any loopholes. Sincerely means no loopholes in there. Five agnas mean five agnas, you see. And so to proceed in Gnan only and nothing else, and that will make Dada very happy with you. And the grace of Dada will come more. To be sincere in the satsang of Dada, then automatically the world will disengage from you and move away from you, you see. Sansar, world interaction. And we do not want to have any kind of rag, dvesh, attachment, aversion with the world. We want to settle them with equanimity only. And then so two more announced. The nature of the soul is knower and seer, knowing and seeing, and absolutely independent. But as we are saying, there is, so how can we become absolutely independent or niralam? And so, but when we look at anything, then automatically there is rag, dvesh, attachment, aversion. You see, when I are you not aware what Prakash knows and sees? Yes, the knowledge of Prakash is of the five senses, Indriya Gnan, knowledge. And you are the one with the Atindriya Gnan, the knowledge that is beyond the senses, you see. And Prakash, this with the red shirt, has got the Indriya Gnan, or the knowledge that is mediated through the five senses. And that is not my knowledge. My knowledge is I am the knower and seer of his knowledge. And my knowledge rises through the agnas of Gnani Purush Dadashri, through the vision and the understanding of Dadashri, and then I'm going to use the five agnas as my dependency. I'm going to use the support of the five agnas, and ultimately I will become absolutely independent, and then I will not even need the five agnas, and that is the Niralam state. And there will be the Prakruti and the Purush, both of them will be absolutely independent and separate and natural only. But now you need the support of the five agnas. And the worldly interaction is automatically dependent. You see, all your subjective knowledge, all this worldly interacting knowledge requires your dependence on others, and it requires your dependence on others. You see, and now in Gnan, agnas, through the agnas, you have the support of the words, and then ultimately you will not have to apply the agnas. Automatically there will be the thing, whatever is happening is correct. You will not have to apply the knowledge of Vyavasthit. Or everything that happens will be Vyavasthit. These are actually advanced level session. Niralam is the spasht anubhav, the clear and the distinct experience of the soul is the Niralam station, you see, absolutely independent station. And I read that in Aptavani 5, the one with the clear heart does not have to ask too much. Those who are very in a lot of service, I'm happy to serve the community. I can help somebody who is sick, And if you invite him to satsang, he's no, I'm fine. I don't want to come to satsang. You see, the other man is sick. I'd like to go help him. He's so much happy in helping others that he does not need the bliss of the self, you see. But the one who is in pain, he is in stress, he is suffering and in turmoil in the relative world, then his knowledge of suffering seeks true bliss, you see. Otherwise, the one who enjoys serving others and does serving community work and seva, etc., then he gets so much joy out of it that he's not interested in liberation, you see. You see? So the hunger is the critical thing, you see. You see, the hunger that leads to a lot of kashaya is also leads to the hunger for liberation, you see. So I want to remain in the group of satsang groups, and also, and I don't want to learn much. I'm happy, she says. Then it's fine. And some people come and bother you, then recognize that they are actually beneficial to you. They are your benefactors, and therefore be grateful to them for being tough with you, or not. So they are beneficial to you. You see. So they keep you in Gnani. You see. You see. If you are sincere as a worker for Dada, then then you will only come. If you decided to come for 12 days, you will attend all the 12 days. You not just come 2 days and not come the 10 days. You see. Under whose influence is the Prakruti? Is it in the ignorant one? It is under the control of intellect, and in the awakened one, it is under the control of scientific circumstantial evidences. Looks like through 5 agnas, the Prakruti is melting away. What is the connection between Vyavasthit and Prakruti? So when you ate some dinner, did you eat it by yourself, or so you had the subtle subatomic particles within you, and then the Karela Shak came in front of you, and the circumstances came. Vyavasthit brought the food in front of you, and then according to your internal Parmanus, this is that the outer food came in front of you. At that time, settle that file with equanimity without entering into rag dvesh, you see. So that account is getting out. Vyavasthit is completing that account of the Prakruti. Therefore, you cannot do anything in the discharge. The circumstances of the food, whether you liked it or did not like it, appeared on your table. That is all. You see. If supposing you end up your Prakruti ends up hurting somebody, then you have to be in remorse, and you have to tell that person, tell file 1, why are you hurting that other person? Why? But you see, because the hurt will happen in the unfolding Prakruti, and but you see, it is the frozen stock of the Prakruti that was frozen in the last life and is now thawing, unfolding, thawing, thawing, unfolding in this life, you see. And it may cause hurt to others, and that is where you need to be remorseful and ask him to do pratikraman for it, you see. And Purusharth is to change your understanding and to progress as a self only, and to keep it separate, to keep the awareness of separation, to keep the awareness of who you are, to keep the awareness of who is the doer, and to keep the awareness of the intrinsic components of the Prakruti, so that you see, against all negative things that are there in the Prakruti, there should be some opposition, you see. So therefore you are not part of the Prakruti, therefore you are in opposition of the Prakruti, and therefore you are separate from the Prakruti. But the Prakruti may continue to be sticky and continue to really unfold in its old ways, but you need to be in opposition, and therefore you are separate. Opposition means you are separate. When file 1 is having its effect, Dada says we have to see it. When through that effects other surrounding files are affected, then it is difficult to keep it separate. Do I have to remain separate, or do I have to settle the other files with some extra activity? No, you need to continue to see that the surrounding people are affected. The lady is in a wheelchair, and from a very young age, and so you have to send positive signals to the other people around you who are pained because of your suffering. Then in file 1 there is action and reaction. Should we enter into it or not enter? Should just no, to see and know and just make her do pratikraman is the only thing. At the most, supposing at the most you could do open pratikraman, that is all, but you cannot do more than that, can you? These are prakrutis unfolding. That's all, but you can't enter too deep into the prakruti. But if beyond that, if you think there is something else that is happening, then you can also do the some kind of prarthana or something like that, all right? So, but apart from that, there's nothing else you can do. That is the only thing that you can do. But to remain emotional and sensitive is not going to work, you see. And that is the wrong approach. It's not going to work. Jai Sachidanand. Deepa Pancholi. My question is, anger, pride, deceit and greed are the extra vyatirik qualities of the soul due to the presence of the soul. Those vyatirik qualities, how did they arise? Did they arise because of lok sangnya or due to the ego? I don't know. That is called vibhav. You see, no. In other words, you see, when you bring steel near the ocean, there is rust automatically. Due to the coming together of circumstances, this thing has arisen. I means anger, pride, and mine means greed and deceit, you see. And that is the Prakruti that is formed, you see. I and mine in the last life has caused the Prakruti of anger, pride, deceit, and greed. Now, when you say I'm Shuddhatma, therefore I am separate from Pratibha. Therefore, 5 agnas keeps you separate from this. Therefore, new anger, pride, deceit, and greed does not happen. Only the discharging anger, pride is. Yes. Supposing somebody is touching your purse, you see, then you say, no, wait, hey lady, don't touch my purse. And then he says, but if he just says, then you say, oh, your purse is there, this is mine. Our purses look identical, right? Out of ignorance, he became angry, right? But the other person says, hey, leave my purse alone. But the moment you recognize that your purse is on the other side, then you have the new knowledge, and therefore the anger will dissipate away. And it is only through the presence of the soul and through constantly seeing with awareness, this will go away. You need to keep it separate, and therefore the pudgal was made the pudgal dirty, and the pudgal will have to make the pudgal clean. That is all. Melu karyu te pudgal અને ચોખ્ખું કરે છે તે pudgal. That is all. This is the very amazing discovery of Dada coming up later on in this. All right. Now we have only Prakruti, discuss only 3 pages of Prakruti on that, and now really it never comes up. It never comes up more. Now we have come in 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now let us talk about why do we get angry and upset. Why did you touch my thing? Why did you insult me? It is not mine. I am upset. I am not. I'm restless. Is it happening to you, or is it happening to Deepak? Is it happening to you, or is it happening to Juliana? Is it happening to you, or is it happening to Tony? You see. So whatever effects that are happening, these are all happening due to the prevailing wrong belief, even in discharge. You see, and therefore, through just constant application, who this is happening to, who am I in this, and that is awareness, and then you can say, oh Deepak, oh Tony, why don't you is the one who is behaving as Deepak, you have to bring him back towards the pure soul, you see. So talk to the one, and through internal conversation, talk with 5 agnas. You are suffering, so it is your mistakes, and keep it separate, and then kind of become established in the pure soul state only. And whatever is happening are these effects, or why are the effects touching me? It is because I am becoming Deepak. I am becoming Shuddha, and therefore I am hurt, you see. Therefore, once I separate from it, then I will not be attached to it. I will not be affected, you see. And therefore, once you separate, Once you separate, then the likes and dislikes will be easy to make adjustments in life and distracts. But if you say, I did not like the food at all, I did not like it, you cooked this kind of food, you know I don't like the food, you didn't care about me, you see, you don't care about my health, etc. All of these kind of accusations and blaming the other person is because we become the body, you see. But if you really, why don't you separate the Prakruti from yourself and be aware that this Prakruti did not like it, you are the knower of what the Prakriti did not like, but you become Tanmayakar, Ek Akar, you become one with the Prakriti, you become the body mind form, and therefore you enter into further chain reaction by more kashayas with the other person, you see. But so every circumstance has to be cleared through the awareness of knowledge only. You see, some work, supposing something got spoiled, supposing something got spoiled by her, then you blame her or so you blame him, you see. And this is how, especially when it is auspicious and helpful, then there is always a sense of pleasure. But when it is hurtful to anyone, when it is ashubh means that which is hurtful, then why is it happening, why are they doing it, who's doing it? That is where you need to be extra aware and awakened and keep it separate, you see. So when something good happens, keep it separate. Something when bad happens, keep it separate. So when something good happens, you do not want to get attached to it, and when something bad happens, you do not want to get disturbed from it. And if somebody else is getting hurt, or then you can say, then you have to say, hey, file one, hey Shud, why don't you do pratikraman? You're hurting her, you're hurting him, you see. But you should not be in the suffering sense that, oh, when will the Prakriti improve, when will all of this talk improve? That is all part of the unfolding scientific circumstantial evidence. You should not be concerned with it at all, you see. And if you're weak in there, then you ask for the energies from the magnificent awake, the absolute one, the Dada Bhagwan within you see. And you see, from morning till evening, it is only the Prakriti that is working, and you are the one who is actually and you are the one who is interfering with the Prakriti by saying that it is happening to me, it is mine, I did not like the snack, I did not like the breakfast, I did not like that particular item served at lunch, you see. Whether you like it or not, be aware of it, remain separate from it. uh, so this is the Samayik topic that is going to happen now. Whether there'll be the demand of the body, the demand of the Prakriti is that it is not the demand of your demand, you see. Keep your lamp of Gnani in front of the demand. You see, the demand belongs to the non-self complex. And if you keep the lamp of knowledge in front of you, then you say, oh, it is his demand. He's wanting this. Oh, she's now wanting to do this. But when you say, what is mine? When you say it is mine, then automatically you will get the effect. But the moment you say it is mine and it is happening to me, I did it, she's doing it, then automatically you are going to get sucked up into the suffering mode, and also the further igniting of the kashais that are there in front of you and her or him. And there is also some lack of understanding and lack of awareness in her file one. So now you see, so now if you really know how to give the right kind of understanding, so you have to say that, also try to understand her Prakriti or his Prakriti and the deficiency without saying anything vocal, because words only hurt more, because words are associated with ego. So the knower of the effect, asar, can always remain separate from further progressive effect and suffering. ऐसे असरों ने जाननारो भोगवताથી મુક્ત રહી શકે. So the knower of the effect and the rising effects can remain separate from the suffering of the effects, you see. So in every day, because our inflexibility, our willfulness, our ability to show our ego, our knowledge, our willfulness, our superiority, all of those things play a role in it, and therefore it hurts the ego of the other person. So there is this. So it is our role is to really to talk and converse with file number one, and to be, and thus become free from this. It is because of lack of our awareness the storms arise. When you are awakened and aware, no storm can arise in exact. None will remain there, and also the vyavahar will world interaction will proceed smoothly. Let us take that in Samayik is on asar today, asar, and so apply asars. So separation in any asar, separation in asar, ASAR, asar means effect. You see, effect. You see, let's so speak. Oh Dada Bhagwan, the absolute self within me. Oh Shri Simanda Swami Prabhu, the absolute Lord within me. With the exact applied awareness of the pure soul, in the lifetime, whatever worldly interactions are happening, these are happening on the basis of the account of Prakruti, and because of ajagruti, lack of awareness, wherever effects arise and happen, and because Gnani is missed, because the lack of awareness, wherever effects happen, in all of those events, please, by applying and the adjustments of the five agnas and also the knowledge of separation, and to really clear all those effects through the light of the self, through the light of the understanding as the self, and to keep the awareness of separation, and let me do such a samayik, my Lord, and grant me the energy for this. I surrender this mind's body and speech, all illusions associated with my name, bhav karma, charge karma, dravya karma, subtle discharge karma, yellow glasses, no karma, gross discharge karma. O Dada Bhagwan, the absolute manifest self within me, you are manifest within me, my Lord. You are the Paramatma, the Lord God within me, and it is at your divine feet, Sucharano, I am surrendering all of this to you, my Lord. Atma chu, Shuddhatma 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 chu. Eu sou alma pura, eu sou alma pura. Eu sou alma pura, eu sou alma pura, eu sou alma pura. Ich bin reine Seele, ich bin reine Seele, ich bin reine Seele, ich bin reine Seele, ich bin reine Seele. मैं शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ, 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 मैं शुद्ध आत्मा छु, 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 मैं शुद्ध आत्मा छु. Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand. Understand? Well, as soon as the effect arises, to keep it separate, that is called penance. And as soon as you have the solution, then the penance is internal penance. Internal heat is needed to keep it separate. And when you come to the level of the experience, all the effects will be gone. There will be no roots of effect at all. Say so. Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand.